Hello, everybody. It's Just in Case of American Newscape. And we're excited to be here and introducing our audience to David Wilson, a musical marvel in my book and worthy of your perspectives. Hello, David. Welcome to American Newscape.
Well, hello, Kurt. It's good to be here.
Well, America needs you. I honestly believe that. The best thing about the COVID was I was able to take some time and discover some new artists that I believe need to be represented better to the world because of their talent. Now, the only thing I'll say about David is he's a musician, he's a songwriter, and he's very talented. And to me, with my musical background, songwriting is at the top of the heap when it comes to talent. Not many people can write songs. So, David, why don't you talk about what you enjoy about music?
Well, music's been a big part of my life since I was young. I guess the guitar is sort of like that old John Denver song about his guitar being his best friend. And writing just came naturally when I was younger. I remember one of my school teachers printing up a bunch of poems and giving them out to the other teachers. But music's been a big part of my life, and it's something that I guess if it's something that you have and you kind of just want to share it. Why just keep it to yourself? Record some people are saying, "Geez, I'd love to have that." So, but it's something that I would do, even if it was just me and my Cocker Spaniel Lily.
Lily, yeah, you and Lily.
My little 2-year-old.
Well,
She's running around here.
David, that's a commonality. My babysitter when I was very young was the hi-fi. And my parents taught me how to play records on the hi-fi when I was 4 or 5 years old. So my musical introduction was Sons of the Pioneers and Puff the Magic Dragon. And then by the time I was 5, it was Nat King Cole. It was Dean Martin. So I developed this wonderful passion for music. And it's like it wasn't even my idea.
Yeah, I don't know where it comes from. It just appears. I remember those. I remember going back and listening as a young guy to the big bands,
Oh, yeah.
Dorsey. And when I was studying songwriting, I'd go back and study lyrically how they put songs together. And I loved Dean Martin, all those guys. And then later on, then with guitar picking, back when I was learning, we didn't have we didn't have the internet and all that. And obviously. And I remember taking the old records. I wanted to learn how to play the Boxer, Simon and Garfunkel. I loved his guitar picking. I went and bought a guitar picking book at the music store, and I couldn't. That was way too boring. And try to learn the guitar by notes. So I'd put the record on, and it was guys like Anna Gordon Lightfoot. All those guys back then. And you put the needle on and learn that section. Figure out where they were coming from in A minor or whatever the song was based on, and learning that way. Classical gas. I learned Mason Williams. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
But I love that song. And I kept working at that thing. Just take the needle, put it on, take it off, and keep working at it till you could learn that. But I can relate to that. There's a lot of good music. And that's why as a songwriter, I'll sit there and I don't know what's going to pop out of my head. I do write country, although I can't claim to be just country. I think some of my songs, I ask the disc jockeys, I go, well, what is it? Oh, it's country. It's a story. And so a lot of it's country, and some is traditional country. Other stuff is, I don't know, maybe it's more on the pop country. Maybe Tangled Up in You, one of the songs I wrote, or Heart on the Run. I wouldn't call that, traditional country. But I'm not claiming to be just traditional country. I'm not gonna say that.
No, you're not. And And music is in the eye of the beholder. If somebody wants to believe it's pop, if somebody wants to believe it's country, who cares?
Yeah.
It's just music.
I just got to ask. I'll ask the disc jockeys. I have some songs over in Europe, in the Netherlands. I don't know how it's doing right now, but I need to contact them. Uh, but I'd ask the disc jockey over there. I don't know what this is. Do you think it's country? Is that how you're going to present it? And they, yeah, it's country. So I just asked them.
Well, that's all that really matters. Speaking of big bands, I was in symphonies and award-winning jazz groups, but the only thing I really had a passion for playing was big band because that was a lot of fun. That was a group having a lot of fun with a director that was like Lawrence Welk, keeping in time with the
Uh-huh.
bubbles. So as a musician, that was fun.
I'd really like that kind of the big band music was great.
Well, and it was an era. It was an era that got us through the war, World War II, and I think it primarily died with Lawrence Welk.
Hmm. Well, I love the way those singers could uh, interpret the song. Uh,
Hmm.
Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Bing Crosby. I loved Bing Crosby's voice. I never thought of myself as a singer. I wanted to just be the songwriter behind the scenes. It's just kind of neat. You get to meet some of the people along the way. I remember telling you we were talking the other night, and I got the chance to meet the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, spend time with them. Chris Ledoux with Chris, and I got to run into Baxter Black and got to know him a little. But when I was back in Nashville, I was there for like 3 years, and you end up having to showcase your songs, and so you get more used to getting up and performing. And so, uh, and it's other people telling me they liked what I was doing, and get a CD out. So that's where that came from. But I'm more the chicken type getting up on the stage. That I do overcome that, but I did want to just be a songwriter, but I ended up on the performing side as well.
Well, and you can sing, and you strum a pretty mean guitar.
I, I do. I think I do okay. Back in Nashville, I held my own pretty well. But there's so many kind of styles, and bluegrass. I have a lot of respect for those guys. I can't play bluegrass. Well, it's okay. I'm not. It's just not my choice of what I like that much. But there's so many styles, and I do okay, I guess, at what I try to do. But man, there's a lot of good pickers. You go to Nashville you'd be amazed. You're sitting down at a guitar store trying out a guitar, and all of a sudden somebody starts playing there with you, and you don't know where they're from. There's a lot of guys in the band, some major bands back there. They'll sit down and you'll be playing with the guy, uh, from Reba McEntire's band or something. You never know. But I did okay. But thank you. I try. I try.
Well, and I think that's what comes across, David. People enjoy passion, and you have passion for music, you have passion for your songs, and that's what come across, and that's what we see. You know, once I found you on social media, I went to your website and started watching all of the videos that you put up, and I found them extremely entertaining. And you talk about talented pickers. There's some pickers that a lot of people don't realize how talented they were, like Charo.
Uh huh.
It's amazing. Roy Clark, he he got better with age. He really seasoned like fine wine, and now a lot of people consider him one of the best guitar players of all time. I don't
Hmm.
see him in that light, but he's a remarkable talent. He's a remarkable entertainer.
I like guys that when you hear them play, you know it's them in the first
Oh
couple of
yeah.
seconds. Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed. Amazing. His style picking. You knew it was Jerry. He wasn't just running scales that he learned from guitar teachers. Uh, oh, Eric Clapton. You know, I like Eric Clapton's songs and his guitar picking. Really, to me, it's like less sometimes is more. It's the choice of the chords. Gordon Lightfoot was really good at that. They actually have a name for it. I never remember all these names. I mean, it's like when you write. I know how to do it, but I was going through a list of all the names. I'm never going to use those names. Forget it. I won't memorize them.
Right.
But
Well,
there's a like they have a name for everything. But Eric Clapton, who else? Jerry Reed's probably one of my favorites.
well, we'll talk about the best. Chet Atkins.
Yes,
He did
yeah,
things with guitars that nobody realized could be done.
yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of guys, and I know these younger folks are learning off the internet, and well, they've got their own style of what they're doing, um, some new stuff. But there's, the styles, everything is it's so varied. But to me, I mean, I'm kind of on the same page as you as far as Jerry Reed or Glenn Campbell or the ones you were mentioning here. But they were great. Chet Atkins. I'm trying to think of who else that yeah, it'll come to me eventually.
Well, Mark Knopfler, Sultans of Swing. He and Chet Atkins played together, and it was common to see them playing together. So you take a rock guitarist and put it with I still believe the greatest guitarist of all time, Chet. And it was
Mm.
amazing, and you could see their passion for each other and their music, and that's what people love. And back to the passion, that's what you have, David. And that's to me that's what sells. And you haven't been able to do this full time.
No, I'm a tile contractor here in Casper, Wyoming, and it's a struggle because you try not to be too tired when you're recording and such, and it's a difficult schedule. I've seen the sun come up a lot of times in the studio, uh, trying to make the time to record. But yeah, I'm doing it. The music thing definitely is like a full time job. I'm gonna have to see if I can get somebody to help me. We were talking about that the other day, and it's because it is hard. Just do the recording, and then you're playing photographer, to get on the oh, uh, what is it? Apple, Apple, and all the other streaming outlets. You've got to have a picture that can't be too pixely, and you're uploading songs for the Library of Congress to copyright, and adding songs to your to my website. As I just noticed the other night, I'm missing one called "Ghost of the Bighorns" isn't on there, and it's hard. It's it's pretty tough.
Well, we experienced that too, David. Every time we get it figured out, they change the rules or they change
Hey,
the
this is
criteria.
or you get on Facebook and have 5,000 followers from all around the globe, and then somebody hacks in there and destroys your Facebook. Had that happen. Uh,
Well,
yeah,
we're gonna help get that back for you, David. And it is a lot, but testament to you, you're doing it and you're putting it out there, and you're planning on considering maybe doing some tours again.
yeah, I need to get out and play, and it's part of it is that you get stagnant by yourself if you're in the studio all the time, uh, just concentrating on that. You get stagnant. I need to get out and hit the road and go play some places, uh, and so we'll see how that goes. It's kind of hard to do it in the winter around here. Roads are it's dangerous.
Casper, Wyoming, where the wind blows 100 miles an hour and the snow never settles.
Well, I tell you, you never know. Like this year so far, it's beautiful out there today. I'm sitting here looking out my back sliding door, and it's gorgeous. But you never know what it's going to do the next day for next week. I think it's going to be blowing in cold. You get an Arctic front that comes through, and then you go from 55 or 60 degrees. It's probably, I don't know, somewhere like that today. It might be 20 for the high, in another day. So,
Well, it's like
but
here in
it
the
is, yeah.
it's like here in the desert Southwest. It was 60 degrees and everybody was crying. It's cold. It hurts.
That's cool. Oh man, the high around here, the high has been zero. I mean, try to get out, and I'm setting tile and this stuff in the winter. Go out. You can't use a hose. Your buckets are blowing to Nebraska. You turn around. I had 3 buckets here, and you see them down the street, and they're blowing to Nebraska. It's, your tile saw is freezing up. I have to use windshield wiper fluid in there, minus 30-degree windshield wiper fluid. So it's interesting working around here. And you know what's funny is everybody goes fishing in June. They don't want the work done then. No, I get calls now
Right.
for winter. It's awful. But
I'll bet there's not a lot of ice fishing around there.
no, there's a lot of guys that do that. There's there's I don't know if it's a lot, but there's a bunch they do. They go out here out to Alcova. It's about 30 miles out of town, and I don't know where else. There's we got some huge places to go fishing here. Pathfinder Reservoir, and it's so long. There's a couple of them that go together past Alcova, uh, down towards kind of Rollins, between Rollins and Laramie, and it's huge.
Well,
And yeah.
go ahead. The groups of people there are groups of people that frighten me, like
Did you what?
that frighten me, that I worry about. Like skinheads and ice fishermen. I can't imagine why anybody would go sit on the ice for hours on end to try and catch a fish.
I'm not going to do it. You know, I'll, I'll go buy a fish.
Exactly. Well, it's a Peggy Lee song. Speaking of big band singers, waiting to happen. Is that all there is? Is that all there is? Is that all there is to ice fishing?
I don't know. When I was younger, I went to school up in Bishop, California, high school. I graduated there.
Beautiful.
We've always been from Wyoming, but family split up, and we ended up in California for a while, which was cool because I got to learn the trade tile down in Laguna Beach. But high school was Bishop, and uh, that was just. I learned. I got a big love for fishing then, actually. But that has good weather. That's a beautiful place. I don't know. I'm going around the barn. I'm going around the barn a little bit, but that's okay. I'll get back around here sometime.
No, it is. And Bishop is, people that haven't been to Bishop, California, it's not really California. It is a beautiful place.
Man, I
And
grew up. When my high school years, it was it's a reservation out there. The Shoshone, I think. I hope I'm correct. Shoshone and Paiute. I imagine it still is. And they got a beautiful part of the center of town there, outside of town. Palmy Lane and all those places, and the creeks run through there. It's beautiful, and it doesn't get too cold in the winter. And then you, of course, got Mammoth to go skiing. We did that in high school. But it's beautiful, and it was all cowboys and ranchers around there running some steers. But I really did. I love that place, still do. And there was a time when I'd do all that going up in the mountains. Me and this buddy of mine would go up for a week at a time up to Desolation Lakes, up Gable Lakes. We still talk about that. That's a hard climb up to there. Uh, but I did all that, starving to death. And this buddy and I, we were so brilliant. He'd go rob his mom's cabinets, and, he'd bring peas or stupid stuff. We'd be up there. We figured, well, we're going to live off the fish. Well, you're way above timberline. There's nothing but brush. So he's sitting there with the skillet throwing brush on there, and the fire's going, you know. And he's eating that stuff, and I went, no, I'll just starve. Just never. So we're dividing peas on the way down the mountain, and we ran into a campsite with sugar and coffee creamer on the way down. I think it was called Pine Lakes, and he was eating the coffee creamer. He had creamer all over his face, and I'm devouring the sugar. We were starving, so anymore, I don't I don't want to go out and get cold. Yeah, I'll take the motor home. I want a hot shower. I don't want to smell like smoke for 5 days.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm lazy. I go fishing with my fishing pole. I'll throw it out there because you can pull the motor home. It's an old Dodge Brome, a 20-footer. It's the new everything in it. But you can back it up, and I'll throw my line out and stick it through the window. If it gets windy in Wyoming, I'll just do that.
the epitome of lazy fisherman.
I got my guitar in there and a sofa. It's like I'm going to sit there and enjoy the day. I'm not going to sit out in the wind. But
Right. Well, we find ourselves doing things that we really don't know why we're doing them that aren't that fun. And fishing in the wind would not be fun.
no, no, it's not. And then some of the places are not trees, so on some of the reservoirs, uh, and so it's more comfortable inside.
Right, right, right.
But there's some people that love their tents and I've done all that, and uh, I'm old enough now to where I just you know
Don't have to.
yeah.
Well, you and I are both, we have a lot of commonalities. You and I are both passionate about our pets. We're passionate about music. But Casper, Wyoming, boy, beautiful town. That one day of the year that the sun shines and the wind isn't blowing.
It's been pretty. It just depends on every year. But yeah, it does. Sometimes it can be long winters and cold, brutal. But I tell you what, you feel alive when you're out there.
Well, we feel alive
Uh,
when it's 120 outside, but we don't
yeah.
spend much time outside.
Well, hopefully I can transition more into the music, and I won't have to be out there mixing cement, and mortar, and
But
drilling to get
you enjoy that too, David, and you're an artist when it
Yeah.
comes to tile laying. I think people might say, "What?" You are. You have a lot of pride in your tile laying, and you're an artist, and people should venture. If we can drive you to David's social media, you can check out some of the stuff he's doing, and it all kind of comes together. The only thing David and I are not copacetic on is he is what very close to a perfectionist, and I'm that's close enough.
I kind of figured, Kurt. I kind of figure, like with the music in there, I don't have $1 million studio to work in, and good mics are $5,000 a piece. I mean, if you have $1 million studio, yeah. If you make mistakes, you can correct it, and so on. I have, for me, it's good equipment, but I figure if I get it as close to perfect as I can, then maybe it'll be acceptable for radio. I compete a little bit with the
Well,
guys.
you have a purpose, and you get back on the road, you can visit stations, which can only help.
That's true. That's that's something I'll have to do.
Okay,
But
David, could you tell people how to find you? I mean, you have so many internet
uh,
presences.
yeah, uh, well, right now for finding the website for where there's music available, there's single downloads, and then there's the CD. Uh, the long one is son of a rodeo man music.com. Son of a Rodeo Man was a song that I wrote for my dad, who was a bronc rider. That bronc and bareback muscle, some bulls. But I had written a song that took off, and so I just named it after that. But that's kind of long. So I have another one, djwilsonmusic.com. And actually, I just got another one because there's another DJ Wilson that keeps coming up. But hopefully they can find me there, djwilsonmusic.com. But I just purchased another one. It'll be, and they're not hits. Well, they are locally, technically, I guess, but wilsonhits.com. And I'll try to put that up this weekend. It'll take a while to show up on Google. But on Facebook, I'm just Dave Wilson. I imagine you'd have to put in Casper in there to find me.
Well,
But that's a,
we'll put those links in the read more. So I encourage people to go
right.
find you.
Well, thank you. Should I show you the CD that I got done?
Well, sure. I
I got the
assume my
CD.
complimentary copies in the mail.
Oh yeah, I'll get this. I don't know. How's this show? Oh man, it's all
No, it's the
glary.
glare. That's
No,
all right.
it's just me and Lily. It's just called Homespun, and it's got. I should have taken the plastic wrap off.
No, don't do that.
But
And Lily
it
is
took
the
me for
Lily.
Lily's. Yes, she's my partner
She's kind of
in
the star
crime.
of the show. And when you travel with her.
Yeah, I do. Lily said. My mom's still giggling because my mom's the one that said, "Dave, you need to get a dog." And I got her when she was just really small. And she goes on the jobs with me. She's been with me 24 hours a day for the last couple of years, 2.5 years.
That's one
Yeah,
of her.
she has to say hello to everybody. Everybody in town knows her. The ladies at the bank, they all got biscuits for her. And she's got like a following. I think it's bigger than mine. And she's got. She was up partying again last night. I probably look all tired because it was the weekend. I mean, come on, Saturday night is the girls' night out. She's out there, woohoo! She's running around the yard. But she's great. A little cocker spaniel.
Well, pet.
But she didn't have a mean bone in her body. She just she's just a loving dog. Great. She has lousy conversations, but and she didn't like the one song I did, Art on the Run. It'll come on Amazon Music on Alexa and stuff. That's the only one. She likes all the other ones, so
What
I'm okay there. She critiques.
people need to go listen to that song and try and figure out why Lily wouldn't like it. Are you yelling at people on that song?
No, no, it's just something about it. I don't get. She just I don't know. No, you've heard it? Have you heard it?
I have heard it, but sadly they at this advanced age they all kind of run together on me. But I'll make a point to listen to it again.
I'll send you the CD. I'll get your address and I'll
You
send you
don't
one.
have to. I knew you were
That's
you you were dying to send me one, but that's why I'm trying to take that pressure off you.
Now I've got my own mailing thing. You have to open it. That's another thing you got to figure out doing this when you're doing it yourself. You have to set up an account with the post office and get your printer for printing off the postages. I got all that done, so I can go on the computer, print off the labels, and send them off. It's kind of cool, actually.
We'll have to put a link to
But
your store too, because when people hear your music, they'll they'll be interested. I guarantee you, David. And then they'll say what I said. Where's this guy been? Well, you've been all over. You were weaned on rodeos. You're kind of a cowboy, but you're not a cowboy. Your dad was a cowboy. And oh, get him,
you kind of
Lily.
get it. Go give, yeah. Yeah, it's just it's not something I work at. You still have the skills, but a lot of the guys I know, they'll go. A lot of guys will go from rodeo into construction. It's just better wages. I don't want to go freeze out there at 40 below doing winter feeding. But
Well,
you kind of have that inbred. It's kind of in your DNA when you're raised on a ranch. Those that have had it, have that experience, they know what I mean.
a good friend of mine was the rodeo champion, the bull riding rodeo champion of the year, and we used to
Uh-huh.
shoot competitively in pretty high level competitive trap, and we'd be on. Trap shooters are not the kindest to one another, particularly to their friends, and we were shooting in I want to say Delta, Colorado, and there was a horse running around way off in the distance, and it was distracting me, and I was getting irritated by it. And what I said to my friend was, "No, that's Speck." And the reason I said that was Speck put him in the hospital for about 2 weeks once he got on the pro circuit.
I don't know. Those bull riders. That's that. I don't understand it. This hat band was actually made by off the Wind River Indian Reservation. He was a bull rider and he got injured, so he had time. So I have a friend got in touch with him and made me this hat band. But I kind of, it's like not if you're going to get injured, when that. Hopefully not too badly, but guys
Well,
get killed.
yeah,
Well,
guys,
broncs will kill you too. Broncs will kill you. It's dangerous sport.
I was talking to my wife about the only sport I would have enjoyed in the rodeo would have been steer wrestling. And she said, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you would have enjoyed that." I said, "Yeah, but the problem is my horse, which had an evil streak in him, once I turned the steer over, I'd have to keep my eye on for my horse coming around to stomp on me. Leave that steer alone."
My grandmother wanted me to be my grandma. She's in the history books of Wyoming. She passed away she was 97, just in 2005. She wanted me to be a bulldog, and I thought, geez, I'm only 5'10". I've been around them bulldoggers. We had when I was down in Tucson, I played the clubs down there years ago, and them bulldoggers are huge, man. They got fingers bigger than my waist,
Right.
so I don't think. But yeah, that's you. Boy, you're a pretty big guy, right? You're like 6'7".
6'7".
Yeah, you can do it.
Well, I don't know. I'd had to got
Not you.
you'd had to talk me into getting on the horse.
Yeah, you got to have the horse. It's kind of part of the deal, part of the package.
When we moved to
Yeah, I'm only
Phoenix,
5'10".
we moved to Phoenix in 1967, and as children, I was a young child. Um, my parents said, "You can buy a horse if you can afford one." And they said
Yeah.
that coming from Indianapolis, Indiana. They didn't realize how cheap horses were. And cheap horses are not the kind of horse you want to have.
Yeah.
So, lo and behold, I had a horse, and my gosh, he knew I was a young kid, and he knew he was stronger, smarter, tougher,
Uh-huh.
and he treated me like his toy.
That can happen.
Well, and he riding him, and I was trained how to ride. You had to be careful he'd fall asleep while riding. And the other thing, he'd ride so far, that's it. You're getting off. And David, I learned how to stay in the saddle. He couldn't buck me off. He
Oh,
couldn't
that's
buck me off.
important.
Well, until he decided, okay, I'll just lay down, and if you don't get out of the saddle, I'll roll over on you. And I'd come walking my horse home crying, "That horse, he threw me." Well, my dad would go out while I was riding. That horse was on his best behavior. So,
You didn't see your dad didn't see any of the bad behavior.
no, nobody did. Uh,
Oh,
man,
geez, your horse probably had that figured out.
yeah, he did. He did. He was
My,
smart.
my dad, sometimes people ask me, don't you have a horse? And I thought about it. I thought, well, maybe I'll get into some roping around here for some kind of recreation. But, uh, Dad always said, don't have a horse unless you're going to work them.
Yeah.
And I just don't have the time. I'm already struggling with what I have to do. But to exercise them, there's just not owning a horse and sticking them out in some field. You need to exercise them. You got your vet bills and your farrier and so on. But I maybe down the road, but I don't have the time to take care of them properly. They need that exercise.
I think I would hold on to that, and every time you get the urge to get a horse, I would tell yourself that.
Yeah. Plus, I don't want to get up at 5 in the morning to go feed.
In December.
Yeah, in December. Oh, I've been on these ranches. I work out at, for some ranchers outside up north here, and yeah, they're out there busting the ice off the water troughs, and the electricity goes out, and so their heaters go out. So they're out there, let alone all their the cattle they have, and no, but they love it. You know, it takes a special kind of person to want to live and do that kind of thing. I didn't, I liked on my family's ranch, but I did work on others, and it's different uh, working on somebody else's ranch. I'd rather do my tile work things. I enjoy. I like to create. I figured that out. Uh, the creative side of my brain works just fine. The other part's all dead. But
Well, it's all give and
right.
take. All give and take, David. It kind of reminds me of my favorite Married with Children episode where Kelly Bundy's going on Jeopardy. And they fed her all this knowledge, but every time they fed her knowledge, she had to give up something else.
Oh, I did. I missed that one. I guess.
Oh, it's classic because the doorbell rings and she runs to the phone and things like that. But she did very well on Jeopardy. You know, I believe our minds can only hold so much. So when you're trying new stuff in there, you're going to have to give up on something.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been learning a lot just on the computer age. I had to go to the library. I was down in Wheatland, Wyoming, 170 miles south, and I'd go to the library. And this is long, 15 years ago, and I did not know how to use a computer. And I had to start. I'd go down the line and screw that computer up and move over to the next one. I finally figured out how to do things. It's a, you got to do it. The guys got to learn it. Uh, well, and to build the websites, and well, just building the album, you got to do that sort of like a website, and learn to photograph and all that, and it's 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 a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Well, it is. And
I kind of got it enough to get by here so far, but I could use. I'm gonna see about. Somebody mentioned going to the college and asking some of the kids there for a little help in those classes. I don't know.
well,
Just decide that.
or an 8-year old when it comes to the computer.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Some of the youngsters they got it figured out.
Right.
You don't let them explain to you how to do it though, because it's like when I was at the library trying to learn. They don't understand how they'll just sit there and go blah 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 blah, and it's like that's what it sounds like to me. And I went, never mind, I'll just go back and keep punching things
Punching
to
away.
tell something.
Well,
Yeah, tell something. It's sort of like I did in the studio. It's kind of keep turning the knobs till something sounds good. Keep
right. But
working at it.
at least you have an ear to know when it sounds good. And
Yeah.
you know, with trying to manage social media is once you get it figured out, they change all the rules.
Well, it's a whole different. And like you were saying, things are changing as time goes on, and so there's always updates. I just saw one on my computer this morning when I was trying to log in with you. It's all updated. I went, oh great,
Yeah, exactly.
uh, now what? And or your phone or the way music's heard now. I mean, what did I had like 38,000 views or something, and I think I made $1 or something. You, you, you know, and then if you sell a download, it's like God, the money's going everywhere but to you,
Oh,
pretty much.
exactly.
I think there's some court cases there, but the streaming sites and all that they take a big chunk.
Well,
So I don't know who makes a lot of money at. I don't know. I know most of my friends that are recording artists. They're on the road and they're out doing personal appearances and so on. So and then selling their CDs. Guys like Doug Figs is doing real well. And geez, Um, there's a bunch of good talent out there. Well, not a bunch. There's a, there's some good talent out there.
Well, there is, and that's back to my comment about COVID. Comedians, I started getting into clean comedians, and wow, some of them are so talented, and some of them I discovered, in 2000 that have gone on to national fame, and good for them. We don't have to be vulgar. You're not vulgar in your music.
No, no, no. I don't do that.
All right, David. Let's. We're going to give everybody the links to get so they can come find you. And I really appreciate this time with you because I do believe you're becoming a friend, and I have a lot of respect for what you're doing out there. But you got to promise to come back. Let's get you out on the road so we can tell people where they are, where you are, where they can find you, and any big time talent representatives out there need to get in touch with Dave and try and work out a deal.
Well, thank you, Kurt. I really appreciate you doing that.
Well, so everybody, this has been Just In Case and David Miller. David Wilson. David Miller. That's a good, interesting name. Let's call him David Wilson. We'll call him DJ. DJ. DJ.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
got talking. DJ is my initial. Dave John. David John. So I
well,
don't know. I should stick with that.
I guess to me it's just a guy spinning platters at some broken down old radio station. But you're more than that. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, David. We're going to give you all of David's links in the read more, so check that out. If you haven't urged, subscribe to this channel. If not, you don't have to. You can still watch the content. Everybody, goodbye for now. This is Just In Case with David Wilson. Take care.